Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to Coffee Talk. I am Coach Roxanne, and you are joining me live on the Better Body Fitness fan page. Thank you so much for being here today. Here in Wisconsin, it is beautiful out already. I don't know what it's like by you. I've seen some crazy warm temperatures out there in the world. Not here. I don't know. What do you classify as crazy warm? It's going to be mid 80s today, but I have seen some places that are over 100 degrees. I don't know if I would mind that. Maybe not every day, but I don't know. Michelle, good morning. Heather, happy hump day. I love it. Lori, happy hump day. Lori, my daughter told me that she met you and your husband the other day. She's like, do you know this lady? Lisa, good morning. Kim, good morning. Carrie, good morning. Happy hump day. Julie, good morning. I love it. I love it. I love that you guys are putting the sunshine behind your names. Because, right? Like, don't you just feel that? I feel it. I feel the warmth. I've been going outside to warm up. You can't see the temperature thing, but it says it's still 69 in here. We have to turn it down to 67 at night and probably should be even cooler because otherwise we don't sleep. Lynn, good morning. Robin, good morning. Ashley, Charlene, Ashley, Stacy, Tammy, good morning. Not looking forward to the storms coming today. Oh, I probably should take a look at that. I'm a little disengaged. All that I can see right now is sunshine and 80s. Sue, good morning. Happy hump day. Melanie, good morning. I love it. I love it. I love it. I thought maybe there was another something on your note. Happy hump day. Coach and Clutch. Again, my friends, there is no milk foam. What I have decided is that might be seasonal for me. That might be a fall, winter, spring. I don't know. It's sitting right on my counter. Like, I don't know why. Nikki, happy hump day. Getting ready to coach in the D5 South All-Stars in Wisconsin Dells. Good luck, my friend. You're going to be amazing. We all know that you're going to be amazing. I love it. Heather just got back from a walk and it's gorgeous out. So Chuck and I, like, we chunk out our day and our mornings are usually very busy. I'm almost feeling like shifting the chunks and getting out for a walk. Maybe I don't know. Should I do that? How many yeses can I get? Laura, yes, we did see Wilma. I totally meant to mention it. What a beautiful young lady. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Monica, good morning. Who else? Wow, you guys are amazing. Michelle, Marsha, Dee Dee, Michelle, Ruth, Amber. I love it. I love it. I love it. Amber sent me the sweetest thing today. It really did make my day. Now I'm going to murder it, but it was something like, oh gosh, what was it?
She says she loves your jokes, but she loves.
Oh, she loves my jokes, but she loves the laugh even more. Like when people laugh at their own jokes. I have done that forever. Chuck, when we first met, said, I have never met anybody that laughed at themselves as much as you do, who thinks they're as funny as you do. I mean, you got to own it, right? You have to own it. Carrie, good morning. Beth, good morning. She's telling Nikki, good luck. Karen, good morning. Ruth, yes, make the shift for the walk. All right. I guess if you told me to do it, I'm going to do it. Cindy, good morning. Hootsek, good morning. Hey, yo. Sarah, good morning. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's get started here, my friends. Amber, it's the best. You're the best. You're the best. All right. So we have talked about today's conversation before, but I thought it was probably a great time to talk about it again. Number one, because we have veterans on here who maybe can give us a little advice. And number two, because we have so many new people who have joined us. And I still see this comment every now and then. It's the help. Nobody wants to eat what I make. My kids don't want to eat what I make. My spouse doesn't want to eat what I make. So veterans, as I'm kind of going through here today, I would love your feedback on how you've made that shift, if you have. Erica, good morning, my friend. So the number one thing that I think is so important when we start on the healthy journey, and of course, we are usually the ones who are doing all the grocery shopping. We're the ones doing all the menu planning. we have to learn to compromise, right? Like, I think sometimes we just get it, all right, everybody's going to do this exactly the way I want to do it. And I have had that mentality. Believe me, I have had that mentality. It hasn't always worked out for the best of me. So we have to learn how to compromise. Tell people this, okay, guys, we're going to start to make a shift. We're going to be eating more vegetables. We're going to be eating a little bit more protein. What vegetables do you like? What is your favorite do you like chicken? Do you guys want me to use hamburger? Like, start asking those questions. It will make them feel more involved, and they'll probably be a little bit more inclined to do this journey with you rather than, all right, kids, mom's going on a diet and everybody's going to suffer with me. Ashley, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Yes, that is exactly how I raised my children. Chris said the same thing. Great minds. But so let me tell you a little bit about my son. My son is now 21, something like that. I think he's going to be 22 this year. And when he was younger, I'm talking like 8, 9, 10 years old, he and vegetables, it was, when I tell you, when the vegetable touched his tongue, he would literally have a gagging reflex, run to the garbage or the toilet and throw up. Like, that was what vegetables did to him. Could I force him to eat them? No, he would sit at the table for hours and cry. Chris, this is the Jacob that's beating us in the step challenge. Like, literally, he would cry. So I had to find a way to compromise. Number one, if I knew it was a vegetable that he absolutely couldn't eat, I wouldn't do it. If I made the vegetable, if it was broccoli, I would give him the smallest little stalk of broccoli, and he had to eat it, even though it was like, there was some tears. I'm not going to lie to you. The change was hard. I mean, just think about how hard this change is for you. It is going to be hard for them as well. Charmaine, good morning, my friend. Tammy said, I don't have kids. I only have my husband, and I knew I was excited for you to do this. I show him what I'm making, and if he wants some, fine. If not, he's on his own. He doesn't like all the veggies, so he is usually on his own. Tammy, is that something that has stemmed from his childhood? Like, has he never liked vegetables? Does he ever talk about why he doesn't? Is it texture? Is it flavor? Because, I mean, I think that as parents, we get so tired and we don't want to fight. So what do? A lot of us would end up making 2 or 3 different things. If this kid wanted this, we made that. But we weren't raised like that. At least I wasn't raised like that. If my mom and dad made liver and onions, you were eating liver and onions. If they made stuffed peppers, which as a child is one of the grossest things ever, you were eating stuffed peppers. Like, we didn't have a choice. Or you went to bed hungry. And you did. You went to bed hungry. That was just the way it was. You know, a lot of people, I think there's so much, I'm going to use the word trauma. I think there's so much trauma around how we were taught as children about our food. Like, you know, we'd have these heaping plates and we were told you have to eat the whole thing, which again, as we grow up, it's like we can't waste anything, right? Because our parents, we had to eat it all. But we really have to take a step back. And yes, our parents were trying to do the right thing, just like we're trying to do the right thing. Get opinions. Ask them what they want. Tell them this is what we're going to have. How can I make this better for you? Because we don't want to make more than one meal. We're busy. Are we not? We are busy moms. The last thing we want to do is be making more than one meal. All right, let me see here. I've got more comments. Nikki, we do this at daycare. Any vegetable we make, they have to try it. Yes. And I think that's awesome. And I think even as adults now, we know taste buds change over time. If they don't like broccoli when they're 4, they might like broccoli when they're 10. If they don't like this when they're 8, they might love it when they're 14. Like, keep that in the mix. You at least have to try it. No matter how old they get, keep that with you. Just try it. Try a bite. Now, Wilma, my other child, my daughter, there came a point in time where she was like, I am not trying it. If this is healthy, I am not eating it. If she heard the word healthy, she was already done. So there just got to be a time when I said, all right, there's the bread, lunch meat's in the fridge, peanut butter's in the cupboard. You do whatever you want, but I am not going to make you another meal. It didn't teach her anything. If you are doing that for your children, you are not teaching them anything about getting out into the real world. When my kids were over here for Christmas, you know, I was offering Jacob to make his plate and whatever, as moms do. And his girlfriend said, and she had every right, his girlfriend said, don't do that for him. Because when we go back to school, he expects that I should do that for him. And she's right. She's 100% right. Why am I baby? I mean, there are babies, so they come, but I want to also treat him like an adult. I mean, you know, hey kid, make me a plate. But you know what I'm saying? We have to teach them for the real world. If we don't teach them, they're going to go out into the real world and they are going to be shocked. And I see this a lot, and I know you guys probably do too, especially out in the workforce. These kids, there's a lot of shock and awe when they get into the real world and have a real job and have a real relationship on how these things aren't. I remember Wilma saying things like, my boyfriend is going to do this for me, and I'm going to hire somebody to do this for me, but she wasn't living in the real world, but she thought that was how it was going to be. Now I tried to teach her what it would be like, but you can only do so much, and you can't let yourself go to a different place, a place that isn't healthy for you, trying to teach somebody else, because that's only going to pull you down. What do we got here? Veggies are hard, Ruth said, but the family is fine with meat and potatoes, so let that roll, or I always have a carb-like side for them. Exactly, that's the compromise. That is the compromise. And that's what we do too. We have our protein, we have our starch, usually a potato, rice, whatever, and then veggies. Take what you want. But I'm not making a separate meal. If you don't like anything I made, then tough beans, right? Even myself yesterday, I posted up that I made that meal and it looked delicious. I had to gag it down. Like, again, the veggies weren't how I liked them. The chicken was a little dry. It was a disaster. But I learn, I grow. But funny, I'm still going to eat it because I made it. I'm going to eat it. But my kids probably would have totally had a moment. Are you raising your hand?
Yeah. Listening to you talk, though, it's all these crazy stories. Number one, I don't like vegetables as a story.
Yep.
And number two, I've tried everything as a story.
Yep. It's so many stories. And where did they come from? That's why I'm telling you, you have to start laying that path for your children. If you don't lay that path, nobody else is going to. And you know, I'm kind of jumping all over with my notes here. Our food is already so corrupt, right? It's not as it's more nutrient deficient now than it ever was. There's so much more processed foods. If we don't teach our kids the way, they are not, imagine where they'll be. Look where we've gotten in our lives. We have to teach them. Now, they might not learn, they might not listen, but there's nobody else out in the world until maybe they get to be where you're at and they find a coach. And then it's probably going to even take, how long has it taken you where they're really going to absorb the information? But what happens until they get to that point? That's what worries me. We already have the most obese nation we have ever had. What happens 5, 10, 15 years down the road from now if we don't teach our children? If we don't teach them about these things, nobody else is going to. Like, in this, as much as we can laugh about what we went through as children, it's really serious. It is probably one of the most serious things that we deal with on a daily basis. We talk about what the pandemic has done. How many of us, how many of us have gotten sick? And, Chuck and I have not. I don't know why. Don't get me started. But really, being healthy is one of the best things you can possibly do. If you do get sick, maybe it will help you recover faster. But if you're not healthy, if you're only eating processed food, if you're only drinking soda and ingesting alcohol and you get sick, you've got nothing to fight this off. Nothing. So this is some of the most important things we have to teach them. Who knows what they're going to deal with as they get older? Who knows what the next pandemic will be? And obesity is definitely one of them.
We're already in an epidemic.
Beth, oh my gosh, love and onions. Same when I was little. I hated it, and my mom made me, liver and onions, love and onions. Liver and onions, yes. My mom and dad also, my dad would brown it up like it was venison steak until you took that first bite. And then whatever you had taken, You had to eat. Charlene, I let them, my girl's not my boy, he doesn't care, help me make the meal plan. We go on Pinterest, find recipes, they pick the veggie. We did a chicken bruschetta Monday, and when we read through what was going to be in it, they all said yuck, but my motto is, we at least need to try it. My picky eater said it was super good, right? They don't know. Why are they saying yuck? Where is that yuck coming from? It might be coming from another student they go to school with. It might be coming from one meal that was made that didn't turn out, and maybe you said yuck, right? We have to keep them excited about the food. Keep them engaged. Keep them, when you go out to eat, don't always let them eat. And I did this, and I wish I wouldn't have. Chicken nuggets and French fries. Corn dogs and French fries. I never made them try anything because number one, I didn't want them to waste the food, yada, 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 yada. But when they only eat chicken nuggets, when they only eat hot dogs and mac and cheese, when they only eat pizza, what do you think they're going to eat when they leave home? That's what they're going to eat. Corey, I asked them each for a meal for the week and then I make some modifications with healthy options. Yes. I also put the fruit out and keep the veggies cut up in the fridge. If they don't like what I made, the rule at my house is 3 bites each time we have it. Then they can make their own peanut butter sandwich. Their palate will change as they get older. The 3 bites helps that. I love that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Carrie, our kids hated it at first, but we now focus on protein and veggies. Educating them how important was key. They're old enough to understand. Having them each pick a meal out a week as well. Pizza on Friday. I love that. I love that. I love that. Especially, Carrie, I know your kids are in sports and how important that is for them to fuel their bodies. And that's another whole lesson. Our kids today, let's be honest, they put a lot of time and energy into these sports. If they don't fuel the right way, we're just asking for injuries. We're asking for illness. We have to let them again know how important that is. Tammy, he never liked them. He tells me it's a texture thing. And you know what? We have a lady in our challenge who she had some sort of surgery and could only do shakes and smoothies for a certain part of her life. Now those things make her, she has a reaction to them. So we work around them. We do what we can, right? Statham, good morning. Heather, I will put out different raw fruits and veggies at mealtime. The 4-year-old is proud to make all of our plates. He does still want the PB&J at every meal, but I'm slowly switching it up for him too. Going organic, low sugar, whole grain. And that's another thing. If they want the PB&J, can you start to make the healthier options? Like, can you go with a whole wheat white bread? Can you go with an organic or one of the better peanut butters? Can you go with a sugar-free jelly? Like slowly making them, because any of those things that still contain the sugar in the process and all of that is going to keep them addicted to that. So slowly making the shifts to healthier options and adding in, like you said, the fruits and veggies with it. I love it. And try a bite. Heather said they have to try a bite. Debbie, good morning, Beth. I include them in the meal planning. Thanks to COVID, we tried new recipes all the time, and I would ask them if it was a keeper. Chuck and I still do that amongst ourselves. If I make something new, what do you think? Is this a keeper? Should we make it again? And sometimes we'll find something that's a keeper, but we'll make it so often that it'll be like, let's wait a few weeks before we make that again, right? Lisa, yes, PB was the alternative. Michelle, my husband and I talk about what we were going to make when we plan grocery shopping. All the recipes hang on the fridge. They're all easy enough for him to make dinner as well. Because I sometimes work late, we keep fruit and veggies at the ready. He has come a long way, but it was a bumpy road to get here. Yes, and we have to remember, again, we fight so hard to make the change ourselves. To try and force that change, to try and force it on somebody else, you really can't. You have to be empathetic and sympathetic. You have to ask the questions. This is what I'm going to do. How can I make this work for you as well? And it's taken me a long time to get there. It used to be it was Roxanne's way or the highway. But now if I am doing the grocery shopping and I'm making the meals, it kind of does have to be that way. Beth, if my kids don't like the meal, they have to make their own. Usually they'll eat whatever's served. Yes, that was the same for Wilma. I look for recipes that are not crazy and know that the kids will eat at least something. They have to try the food at least 2 bites. The kids will always complain, but they eat a part of it. I love it. Ruth, the little boys prefer veggies and fruits for snack, and I continue to encourage that. I love it. That's amazing. That is amazing. Stanham, I made garlic and olive oil noodles instead of butter noodles and a caprese salad. The kids now call or Luca dinner like the movie. I don't know what movie that is. Maybe have a little less butter in the menu. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So what else here? We have to remember something too. Sometimes it's easier just to make the kids whatever they want. But there was something when I started on my journey and I was still buying the little Debbie's and the cookies and whatever it was. There got to be a point in time where I'm like, how is it that I won't put this in my body because it's not healthy? But I'm still okay with my kids putting it in their body. Eventually that shift will come too. And the longer you let that go, you are going to have pushback. Your kids are not going to we're talking massive change. We are talking, we let them eat the cookies and the cupcakes and whatever they wanted. We're going out for ice cream how often? Or if they want it, we're just letting them have it. But we have to start thinking, if it's not good for me, it's not good for them. And yes, we don't want to deprive our children, but there is a fine line between deprivation and having discipline, even as children. Knowing that, yes, you have to eat this healthy meal and then you can have a serving of a dessert. You can't sit down and eat the whole carton of ice cream. You can't sit down and eat 500 calories where the cookies are little Debbie's. Like, we really have to get into that rhythm. Again, nobody is going to teach them if we don't. I feel like I had so many more notes, but I'm going to end that there today. Really take a look at what you're doing. Take a look at the path you're leading those kids down. Where do you want them to be as teenagers? The older they get, and you know this, the harder it is going to be to make that change. So now is the time. Lay that foundation for them. Give them a say in what you're doing so they feel involved. Karen, having the kids help cook the meal makes them more likely to eat it. Now my kids sometimes are the ones making the healthy dinner. I love that. I never pushed that enough, and I wish I would have. Oh my gosh, yes, you should see the snacks at school the kids bring in. At our house, we have a rule. Only one dessert a day. When we were little, we were poor. We were poor. My mom and dad would buy the cheapest bag of those like imitation Oreo cookies or whatever they were. They would put them in a cookie jar. There was 4 children, and at night we got 1 or 2 cookies. That was it. We had to make them last. That was what we got. And that, I feel there was moments as a child I felt so deprived because, yes, the other kids at school, or I would go to a friend's house and see everything that they got to eat whenever they wanted. But I know now that my parents, that was the right thing to do. There was a lesson in the making there that I wasn't ready to learn at that age. Ruth, I've been thinking about that for vacation. Bought some junk food, but trying to cut back. Next year, not sure I will bring any of it. Yes, when Chuck and I, we went on our road trip to Nashville, and I've seen so many people put this, that one of the things they looked forward to was stopping at the gas station and getting the snacks. We refrained from any of that on this trip. We didn't do any of that. We packed all healthy snacks, and that's what we stuck with. Gas stations were for gas and potty breaks. That was it. And it was one of the best trips we've ever taken. All right, my friends, that's where I'm going to leave it. This has been amazing. I love having the conversation with you guys. I love that you guys are sharing what's working for you, because we have so many people coming to us saying, how do I do this? And the fact that you guys share is just going to give them the feeling like I can do this too. All right, my friends, happy hump day. Join Coach Chuck at noon for the Noon Nugget, and I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I love you all. Go out and have a fabulous day.